welcome back here on the FestiVITA 24 Hours radio show. We just had X-Moon Society coming here with President Boyan and Crisis Officer Simon telling us all about the society and why you should join them. So again, don't forget to go and follow them on Instagram. Now it is time for our second society hour. Always, in that kind of, international vibe, international, understanding. We have here Thomas with us, who was with us already before for the X-Men Society Hour. Now he's here to present us, in a way, his society, because indeed, next year he will be the president of the International Relations Society. How are you doing, Thomas? Can you hear us all good?
I can hear you really fine. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, as you said before, you're a student who does international relations. I did also international relation for 3 years of BA.
Yes.
Can you give us like an overview of like the society? Like what does it do? Kind of activities that it's been doing this year when you were not on committee, and the activities that then you potentially plan to do next year as president.
Yeah. Well, I'll give a brief overview, and I've stated unofficial objectives as of now. So, we're a very new society, founded only last year, making us the first ever elected committee. So the president before me was the founder of the society, Brendan. Um, and sort of there were good of the last year. However, we have an even bigger, ambitious agenda. And our objectives are to really improve the IR student experience at Exeter. Creating a climate of thought-provoking debate and also just familiarity, allowing members to, create friendships that also, good university friendships, but will also have, good professional uses in the future. Secondly is to establish a stronger relationship between IELTS students and IELTS lecturers through weekly speaker events, primarily hosting them to give them opportunities to talk about their research. Three is to inform and promote members the vast and diverse amount of career paths that can be pursued with an international relations sort of mindset. And also to cover global perspectives in the realm of IR. We call this the global IR. It's an increasing phenomenon in literature and discussion. And also to promote IR not as a sub-discipline of politics, but more so as a rich and crucial discipline that serves as an avenue to the study of its own sub-disciplines. And I can share my own interpretations of that later on, but how does that sound, Matthias?
I mean, I really like especially the fact that when you talk about establishing a stronger relationship between IR students and IR lecturer, because over the 3 years that I spent about being an international relation student, there was many times I was like we seem to know the teacher, but I think getting to maybe know them, maybe doing a social, I guess, or maybe doing a more like chill meetup, I think will create a better connection between student and teacher, because obviously there is a form of respect that you need to have towards a teacher because he's older than you, but at the end of the day, I think the whole experience of your academic the degree itself will just make it, I think, a bit better if you have a better relationship with the teacher that you're working with. So no, definitely, I really hope you manage to fill up this objective. And when you say improve the IR student experience, what like when I see that, I'm like, he's right. He's right. There's probably a lot of stuff to improve. But my question is it's not to go against you, of course, but I'm wondering maybe if a lot of people would be like, oh, what in a way, what would the IR society be a plus compared to, for example, politics society or debating society? What makes you kind of different compared to these kind of big societies in a way?
Well, sort of, two things to say there. What we mean by improving the IELTS student experience is sort of making it even better. Because at the moment, the experience is good. You get what you get paid for, but we really kind of want to, we're really writing feedback reports for individual lecturers as to how they could restructure the first year compulsory modules. That's not official yet, but that's something that's in the works. And secondly, what makes us unique? Well, we good friends of the Policy Society. I've recently had a call with the incoming president, or the current president, I think. And definitely I've been to two of their speaker events, very good. But really, what makes us unique is that we really are prizing sort of, academics and sort of pro professional social. Well, when I say professional, my social secretary would want to remind me that, we also want to create a nice, chilled, sort of familiar atmosphere. But it's not just about, um, we are promoting, discussion and forming those relationships. And why are we unique? Why? Well, because I mean, IR itself is actually incredibly huge. We don't believe it can be represented just by it could be represented by a Baltic society, as we don't feel thoroughly represented by that. Just in theory, it makes absolute sense to have an IR society because of the rich amount of sub-disciplines there are: global political economy, sustainable development, security studies, strategy. The list goes on and on. Decolonial literature. Is that a satisfactory answer, Matthias?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I'm
Brilliant.
glad, I'm glad to see that, you are prepared for this kind of stuff because, as
Yep.
someone who has been on committee this year, whenever you have to kind of defend in a way your society, you can say as much as you want, I love them. I think it's a great
Mm.
place to be. When you're in competition in a way, against other
Mm.
society, I feel it's always very difficult
Yeah.
to kind of,
Yeah. Well,
protect your own place.
mhm,
So well done for that,
definitely.
honestly.
Thank you.
Um, how would I say?
Yeah.
In a
Mhm,
way, when you get your membership for your
mhm,
so when members will buy their membership, my question is, will you target membership prioritize undergraduate students in the way that
nice.
are you gonna have
Mhm,
special stuff for undergraduate students? Are you gonna have also
mhm.
stuff for postgraduate? Is it more of a mix in the society? What kind of you know is
Yeah.
the whole society a bit for everyone, or is it just undergrad? Like, what do you think it would be?
Well, under my leadership, it's certainly for absolutely everyone. This is a common thing. I've been to speaker events at SOAS, universities in London, and I've met postgraduate students there, and they have similar international relations or politics societies, but they don't feel as welcome on joining. I certainly, of course, we want to, freshers are kind of the easiest target audience to have in September, but we absolutely want postgraduate students, incoming postgraduate students, we could be listening now, or, second and third year students. We want them to be as expansive as possible. And secondly, not even just year of study or level of study, also what you actually study. Because, I mean, again, while we will provide resources for IR students, improving that experience, we also really want anyone on campus, whether they're a physics student or a psychology student, to join us if they're interested in international affairs and solutions and learning more about the degree. Because you never know, they could maybe want to go on to do a master's, in the course themselves. Anyone, everything is really IR, languages as well. So
Def,
that's my answer.
I agree. I agree with you. Well, that was kind of my next question. As you said, there's a
Brilliant.
lot of people that are interested about international relation, but they don't do it about their degree. How do you think they'll probably maybe kind of join the society? I think that's something you'll probably want to promote quite a lot. Saying that
Yeah,
it's not an academic society just for people who study international relations society,
yeah.
study international relation in general. It's for literally everyone.
Well, this is my answer. Speaker events. We aim to have weekly speaker events with hosting a diverse range of the faculty, both within the politics department, but also outside, such as in the Institute for Arab and Islamic Studies, the Strategy and Security Institute, where we already have contacts with developing relations with. So what we are trying to do there is, if there's a particular speaker event, for example, that could be highly relevant to a Middle Eastern studies student or, an Arabic language, modern languages student. That's just one example of many. We definitely have a big outreach sort of a strategy ahead of time. We have two publicity secretaries and one outreach officer who's sort of in the field promoter of events. So we will be sure to highly promote particular events and try to, how do I say, reel in non-IR students into our society through these speaker events.
I agree. I mean, it's a good thing that you
Yeah,
have these speaker events because it,
yeah,
it's kind of open to everyone in a way that everyone can join.
yeah,
They can listen,
hmm,
and it will, who knows, maybe get them into
yeah,
IR. Maybe, sorry,
precisely. Yeah.
apologies,
Only
getting
£5
into the
membership.
subject. Yeah, yeah, and obviously
Yeah.
buy the membership of the society. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
um, as you said, you talked about, academic content, socials. You mentioned
Yeah.
your
Hmm.
your social stake. Um,
Hmm.
how do you envision the fact that you'll be doing the society over the
Hmm.
year as president? Maybe, who knows? You will continue in third year, maybe again as president.
Hmm.
But in general, how do you envision the society to evolve in the committee after yours? Like, what would you want the
Right.
society to do?
Well, perhaps I've used this term a bit too much for my committees likely, but is really growing the seats for the next committee. That is definitely a priority, as I really want this to have, a lasting effect um, for generations of IR students and people interested in IR to come. Uh, Definitely, the longer term objectives are for to really expand in membership. That may sound a bit ambitious. Some of my friends, they may disagree as to the feasibility of such, but I believe if you promote how absolutely crucial IR is in the 21st century, and how it is to all students, um, is to really expand the membership, maybe into even the top five of largest society memberships. Yeah, and also to in the next year to start having external speakers as to while our priority is to strengthen the relationship with the faculty through speaker events. Um, we currently don't have the resources to fund weekly external speakers like the debating society does. So yeah, those are two key objectives, I'd say.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, obviously, I hope that you will manage to get the funds for to get the speaker, because again, it's a really good thing to have
Yeah.
to kind of get more people who might
Mhm.
might not be studying international relation, and who knows, might be get into it. Talking
Yeah.
about international relation, as we mentioned before,
Yeah.
you are part of
Hmm.
another project linked to international relation and linked as well to the place where I am literally sitting right now, um, which is a radio
Indeed.
show about international relation, external
Yeah.
affairs. Do you? Sorry,
Yeah.
apologies. Do you want to tell us maybe, like, what is it
Sure
about? What
thing.
do you guys talk about?
Yeah. Well, me and my friend Finn Rose, who I believe you interviewed earlier, and also Drew and Lucas and a few others joined us, a Canadian student. And essentially, we conducted around sort of almost 10 interviews, maybe. Only three are up there on YouTube. We're uploading another four soon, including the interview with yourself on French politics. But
Indeed,
that
indeed.
was kind of, a really good starting point to, gain that experience uh, of doing something ahead of the International Relations Society. And it was just really good to hear other people's voices, and also how we provided that we identified that interdisciplinary link between of issues you thought wouldn't actually be that associated with IR, but for example, Joseph Terry's interview was particularly interesting because he spoke about sort of the international car trade and in particular Chinese electric vehicle imports into Europe, and that just really showed how political of an issue that was.
Sorry, I was
Yeah,
sorry. I was looking at something related to
yeah,
international relation and
all right,
external
yeah,
affairs. Um, I mean, I do have to agree. The show honestly is really
yeah,
good because you can, you can
thank you very
learn
much.
if in the same way, I guess, about as a
Yeah,
speaker, you can learn about different politics, different kind of
yeah,
politics around the world, how they work.
yeah,
As I said, I did come indeed on the show
yes,
to talk about the French
yeah,
politics.
yeah,
You also had Cornelia, that a lot of listeners here on FestiVITA know. She came to
oh
talk
yes,
about the
Cornelia, yeah,
Polish politics. You also had if I'm not wrong, someone called Emilia, right? She came to talk about
Amelia,
feminism,
indeed,
right?
yes, certainly, yeah,
She came to talk about feminism, right? In
yeah,
politics.
so on a global scale, yeah, which was quite interesting, quite a unique approach and take to the issue.
Nice, nice. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
honestly, well done for doing all of
thank
this
you very much. Yeah,
for international relations students.
yeah,
Anything that you might want to maybe add about the society? Maybe where they can find
yeah,
you, where they can maybe
yeah,
see, kind of maybe follow on
right,
Instagram. Where can they
sure
find all
thing,
your
yeah.
information?
We'll certainly start off with following us on Instagram and also even LinkedIn if you want. If you you can either message the Instagram account itself to be added to the linked community, or we should be able to follow it. So those are our two platforms at the moment. However, we are creating a website with more details regarding buying a membership. I suppose you could say that for September. That will
Indeed. The
remain
membership
hopefully in the
usually
link tree.
starts around end of August, beginning of September. We are now in
Oh,
June
right.
whilst
Indeed.
the show is on, but whoever will be listening later
Yeah.
on, you can buy your
Yeah.
membership whenever you want during the year.
Brilliant. And I do reiterate that whilst discussions within the committee may change, our treasurer is fairly adamant on capping the membership at £5 to make it as affordable and accessible as possible. So yeah, I will remind people of that as well.
Beautiful. I mean, I think it's a good amount, £5 for a membership, because
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously it depends
yeah.
how much money you need, for the events that you want to organize. Because at the end of the day, if you organize big events, £20 can also be, very affordable compared to, what you offer. So,
it's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, wish you all the best for everything, Thomas.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to have you, and
thank you for having me. Good luck with the rest of the radio show.
Thank you
You
so much.
finish at 7 p.m., don't you?
Yes, 7 p.m. is. I still have. How long do we still have? 5 hours and a half. Fun times.
Yeah.
we're now on hour 19.
That's great what you're doing. Well done.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much also for the donation, by the way. I get that I saw. It really means a lot. And yeah, we're gonna go now. A bit on a music break, because I can't lie. It is what time is it? Yeah, 1:30, and I do need to have lunch. Otherwise, I'm gonna. I think otherwise I'm gonna be really, really hungry. But yeah, then we'll be joining Lucy and her panel for the famous quiz hour. Thank you so much, Tom, again for joining us. And yeah, I shall see you all very soon in a second.